Over the last few months, there has been a lot to be excited about, but the month of July is going to be very different for UH football. And there's nobody that's going to be enjoying that more than head coach Todd Graham. Coach, what can we look forward to in the month of July that is on your radar?
Well, we're very hopeful for practice. We haven't. I was around our players for basically 6 or 7 weeks, and I think I've been away from them for 15 or 16 weeks. And so, just getting back to work, and I can't wait to get back out on the grass and start, obviously, practicing with the players. Obviously, it's going to be a new norm, and we want to keep our players safe. That's been our number one priority, and healthy.
There are 3 important dates in July. The first one is July 6th. Where guys can be back and guys can be practicing or doing workouts. What happens on July 6th? If you can go into specifics for us.
Well, right now, that's the date that the NCAA has approved for us to have mandatory workouts, and we'll do that by practicing social distancing. And I have our guys back here. We've been working to navigate to get them back from the mainland. In the last few, obviously we got the quarantine. We're gonna have some kids quarantining, some kids working out, some kids. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge and all that. But we're excited to have them back. As far as the NCAA gave us that day as the first day we can start running and lifting and preparing our guys for the season.
What has been going on between you and the coaching staff to prepare for that day?
Well, a lot of logistics, obviously, as we move our players, guys that were here on island. There's been a lot of logistics to work out there, as well as guys that are off island and that are in the mainland. And so, we work getting everybody back's been the main thing we've been working on. Obviously, we've been meeting all along, trying to get ahead of the game because our schedule kind of flipped, where we're used to having spring ball and having those kind of practices and be able to evaluate. Get on the same terminology, all those things, and then you'd have summer workouts and things like that. And then really, you'd already had done your scouting reports and things like that are usually done in July, whereas now that's all been moved up. So we've done all of our scouting reports on all of our opponents. We've tried to get ahead on all the teaching, our video installations where we can teach to our players and have all of our teaching tools and things like that for our installations, I mean our plays that we're teaching our players. And so we've tried to just do everything we can from a technology standpoint, from a planning standpoint, from an organizational standpoint. But at some point we got to start practicing, and so that's the next step. July will be very different because of that. So there'll be a lot more practicing in July, which usually there's not anything but running and lifting in July. So it's being adaptive and looking at it as a great opportunity. And I think the staff that and the team that can best adapt to this very, very different world, this very, very different challenges that this virus has brought, because it's totally changed your schedule. Coaches are creatures of habit. You have, hey, this is what I do for spring. This is what I do for, post-spring. This is what I do for summer. This is what I do for fall camp. And that's all thrown out the window. And so all new organizational stuff. But it's been exciting, too. It's a great opportunity.
You mentioned this before in conversations between you and I. You've mentioned it to media members whenever you've done interviews. You're excited to work with players. You're excited to work with Chevin and others. When you finally get everybody together, is there someone that sticks out to you or multiple players that stick out to you that you're excited to finally get to work with other than those 6 weeks that you had in spring before you really got what was supposed to be spring ball? Is there anybody that sticks out to you that you're excited to work with?
Well, I'm going to tell you, one of the things that gives me peace, one of the things that gives me great peace, and I've said this many times, not that there's not going to be competition at quarterback. We have a quarterback. We have a young man that our team, his teammates believe in him. This coaching staff believes in him. Obviously, we see unbelievable promise off the tape that we've seen. I think he started 4 games and won all 4 of those. And I know he switched in and out. And he didn't start and finish all of them, but I think that gives great confidence. I'm excited to work with him and see his growth because what I've talked to Chevin about is it gives me great peace that I have a guy that has the respect of this team at quarterback. That is paramount. If we didn't know who the quarterback was going to be, wow, would I be stressed out? It'd be a lot worse than it is. But I'm really, really excited to work with him and to see him step up and become the man, become the leader. Obviously, he's done a great job to put himself in this position. That's why he has such respect from his teammates. Obviously, we respect his talents and his abilities. And I'm looking forward to him to take that step forward, be the leader of the team. I talk about it all the time, and that is the key component to every championship team. You have to have a championship caliber quarterback whom leads, not just talented, not just those things, but leads. And so I'm excited to work with him. There's a bunch of players, on offense and defense. I think we have a very veteran offensive line. I'm excited to work with them. I'm excited to have that as a strength, I believe, in our program, which is a rarity. I can't tell you in 12, 13 years as a head coach in Division I can't tell you how many years that I said, you know what, man, we have, unbelievable senior leadership on the offensive line, and there's not, that's one thing we've got a veteran group there that I'm excited about. Obviously, we got explosiveness at wide receiver and at running back, and then I'm excited defensively. That's going to be probably where the biggest challenge is going to be. The biggest changes are coming, where we're adapting the most to our players. And I'm excited to work with, Eugene Ford, Corey, Cortez, obviously, Maya and Blessman. I mean, I don't want to leave a bunch of names out, but I'm just excited to what I want people to see is, everywhere I've been, we've been able to score points. It's, I think I've averaged about 36, 37 points a game every place I've been a head coach. We're going to do that. We're going to take care of the football. We're going to install elite discipline, but I want to bring a defensive mentality to our team, and that we want to win a championship, you got to play defense. And so we don't want to just go to the championship. We want to win it. And so I'm excited to work with the guys on defense and install a new aggressive mindset to that side of the ball. And as well as we want to play offense with a defensive mentality. We want to score those points, but we want to bring a different discipline, a more of elite discipline in efficiency, and be able to a tempo to what we do, be able to operate faster and more efficient. And then we want to bring a physicality.
So many things to be excited about. We know July 6th is the target date for a lot of guys to come back and start doing things. Two other dates to take note of, July 17th and July 31st. What are the significant parts of those two dates?
Well, the 17th is when we really officially report. So the 6th really starts mandatory summer workouts, which would be what we normally do in June and in July. And so the NCAA plan is a 6-week plan, and it gives us 2 weeks there starting on the 17th where we can do walkthroughs, meetings, and start teaching and working on football, installing our plays, do some run-through, walk-through stuff. On offense and defense. I think we get 1 hour a day for 6 days, and then 1 hour meeting a day for 6 days. And then we have a couple hours of film, and then continue to work on getting them in condition that they need to be in to be able to play football. And then on the 31st, we start our normal 4-week fall camp, which would be our acclimation period. The first 5 days, we have a couple days in shorts, or just what we call helmets. And then we start our padded workouts and getting full pads there towards the end of the acclimation period on practice 5. So pretty much once we get to the 31st, we're off every Sunday. Our players. I'm a very, very routine guy, and I like taking off Sundays, so our guys be off on Sunday, but we'll be at it 6 days a week on the other days, and getting our team ready for that opener at Arizona.
You can just tell from your tone of voice and just kind of how you're talking about this, how excited you are about the month of July, and I'm sure the fans are going to feed off that. Coach, it's a pleasure to talk to you as always. We'll talk again soon, but enjoy it, and let's all get ready for some football.
All right, let's go Bows.